Hi, everybody. My name is Alyssa, and I'm the Adult Services Librarian here at the Fords branch. Thanks for joining part 2 of our June Crafternoon. Today, Joanne is going to demonstrate how to fold paper into leaves and how to assemble the wreaths. This recording will be posted on the library's YouTube channel, just like on Monday. So you can search YouTube for the Woodbridge Public Library. As a reminder, you can always find our calendar of upcoming events on our website at www.woodbridgelibrary.org. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're watching this later and you have any questions, you can always email me and I can get in touch with Joy. And now, without further ado, I will turn it over to Joy.
All right, thank you, Alyssa, and welcome everybody to part 2 of our nice summer origami wreath. Let me share my screen so you can see. So last week we is it sharing? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Very good. Last week we started, oh no, not last week, just 2 days ago, the other day, we started making these origami flowers. And just so you can see, just as a reminder again, it's a basic flower. I have some put on picks because I find that's the easiest thing to work with, but I know that your supply kits have glue dots and that works as well. But we did the flowers and you can see that after you learn the basic unit folding and how to assemble them, you really have a lot of leeway in creating different shapes of the flowers. So you have some variety in sizes as well. So I just wanted to show you real quick what I have now. And this is how it will look together on a foam wreath base, just like what you have. And it's really just, a riot of color. And here are so the first thing we did was learn how to make the flowers. Let me put this aside for now. And for today, we start with very simple leaves. All right. Again, origami paper, it can be this type with the white side. It can be paper with the same color on both sides. Now, origami paper, you can really use any paper. The ideal ones, though, will be of a particular thickness and thinness. It's a particular one so that they can hold a crease well, because some papers do not hold a crease well. Some are too thick, some are too thin. So you can experiment. If you don't want to buy origami paper from a store, you really can use any paper that you have and just paint it if you want a certain color, or just use it as is. So this is a sample of our leaves. It's a very simple shape. It can be done out of different colored paper. This paper is basically, computer paper, the kind of paper we use. This is origami paper. This is old wrapping paper. You can really use anything. And it starts from, I am using a 6" by 6" square paper. This is a standard origami size, and it's good to learn this way. So if you can see, the leaf basically starts from, and I'm going to unfold this because this is how the leaf comes together. You glue that and then it becomes this shape. Very simple. But it comes from a triangle shape. See? It comes from that. So if you have origami paper that's white on one side, you could fold it in half to get your triangle so that both sides of your leaf will be the same color. You could also cut it in half with so you could cut it so you get 2 leaves out of 1 piece of paper. So it's really up to you. And with leaves, it doesn't really matter whether it's white on one side or green on the other. It's really up to you. So for this leaf, it's nice to have, we're going to do what's called an accordion fold. And I hope you see, it's just basically that. It's like pleats. That's all it is. So we start by making our triangle and then making a fold upwards like a hat. And again, the little piece of plastic or a teaspoon is good for making our creases nice and crisp. Then I flip it over and fold again, making sure that I keep to the same size. And I take that. So I hope that, I will demonstrate this and then I'll do it again. And this time it'll be great. You can follow along. Because sometimes it's just good to watch the process first before trying it yourself. Then I flip it over, as you can see, and notice that there are already these patterns forming on the sides of the paper. So that's going to be a guideline. So I'm going to I flipped it over. I'm going to take the bottom. I'm going to fold it again. Flip it, fold, flip, fold. Now, this is the way I do this. I will also demonstrate another way where you don't have to flip it. So it really is something that you will discover for yourself, how you're really going to make this very, very basic fold. So this is what you're going to see at the end. And this is what gives us the shape of the accordion fold. So these are basically pleats. There you go. We have a pleated form right there. Now we do not unfold it. I just wanted to show you that. And then what we do is put the solid side facing you and fold it in half. So take this portion here, the very tip. I'm just going to mark it for clarity. Put these two tips together. So it's simple. You just be as balanced as you can. Now it gets a little thick down here. I actually have a little hammer. I don't have it right now, but I can take that small hammer or something heavy. Like here's my tape dispenser and just sort of do that. It just helps. There you go. So here is the basic unit of the leaf. And we are going to run a glue stick here, or you can use your glue dots, which is fine. But for this one, the glue stick is easy. So I'm just put glue there and simply fold it in half. And with a glue stick, as usual, it would be nice for it to dry before you actually unfold your leaf. But you can see it's already that basic leaf shape. So it'll dry nicely like that. Now, if this thing, what I noticed for leaves that have been folded from a piece of paper that's white on the other side, you will get this white thing showing, right? So this one, because it's same color both sides, you do not have it. And I'm just going to show you. So again, I'm going to demonstrate again, and you can follow along if you'd like at this point, whether you're using a square piece of paper that's folded in half or a square piece of paper that's cut in half. So again, I'm going to fold it up here. And then flip it over. Now, I had shown you how I do this. I just pick the edge up again, and I always fold up. But if you're comfortable actually folding alternately, folding down instead, it's the same thing. So instead of doing what I did like this, you could just pick up the top, fold down, and it's actually an easier way so that you know you're doing things straight. right? And then I'm taking this, I'm folding it up. So this way you do not do the flip-flopping thing I did earlier. So it's really up to you. It's really, I don't know why I like the flip-flopping way. I don't know. So as you can see, we have our little accordion happening here. And this is the paper with the white side showing. So I flip it over to the solid side, the side that doesn't have those ridges. Fold it in half. And put the glue on. And we have another leaf. There you go. Now, I just wanted to say, so I hope that was clear to everyone. You know, on your own, I'm just going to go on, but on your own, keep practicing that fold. It's fairly straightforward. You could use a ruler. Let me do it another time. If you have problems, if it's kind of difficult to make sure it's straight, you can use a ruler. So here I'm making my first fold like that. And then if I want guidance, if I'm actually having a hard time folding down to the edge, I can put a ruler there on the edge so that I know I'm really going to be exact. Now, again, leaves do not have to be exact. So here, my ruler will go on top here. I'm aligning it with the edge here. And this is just something that comforts me to know that I'm folding fairly accurately. But later on, I'm going to demonstrate what a leaf without that's not folded equally will look like, because it can work. Part of the good news about origami is we think people assume that, oh no, I have to fold it with there. Yeah. People assume that it is, oh, this leaf has a white stripe in the middle. Isn't that funny? Oh, I know. Because there. Yeah, let me just do that. So sometimes you can make various special effects. Like, so this leaf will have that little white stripe in the middle. Oh, and I think that was something I should have unfolded, or maybe that was part of the direction of the fold. But what's going to happen here is, because this looks a little awkward, I'm going to cut off this part. And you will see that, oh, scissors. Just like the flowers, where you can take the basic shape and make variations so that you're not always having the same variation. You can do the same with leaves also. So this one is a leaf with a white ridge down the middle. And it's actually pretty. It gives a special kind of thing, just like when I fold flowers using the white of the paper to be an element in the look of the flower, you could do that thing with the leaves as well. So that's why it's nice to have, you could do it with paper that's the same color on both sides, or you could use paper that's got a different color on both sides, on the other side. So here it is. And basically when we put this, so this is fine. This is the leaf already. So here you can do things different sizes. There's smaller paper. Smaller paper will give you a smaller leaf. And this is the 6-inch paper. Now, what I do, because we are working with a foam wreath, let me just grab a wreath. So this is the one. This is the wreath that came with your kit. And it's pretty easy enough to put, for example, so now I know that if you have any questions about the wreath, please just email Alyssa and she can get in touch. I mean, not the wreath, the leaves. Just email her and she can get in touch with me so I can clarify things. But I hope that was pretty clear to everyone. And basically, it's really going to be up to you to design your wreath. As you can see, this is how mine has gone so far. And so if you have, for example, 3 or 4 flowers, different colors. So I put mine on picks, right? And in our workshop the other day, I showed you how I do this. So it's basically, you can design by putting your flowers there just temporarily, decide where you want it to go. I don't have any flowers that have no picks on them because I prefer putting my flowers on toothpicks. But if this was only, you know what, here, for purposes of our demonstration, I could just take the pick out. The glue sticks are really, there you go. Wow, those glue sticks, glue dots hold. So here's one without a pick. And if I take a glue dot, and just put it on the base, this is where glue dots are really handy. They will adhere and they will adhere strongly. So there you go. It just takes a little bit of work to peel it off and then just stick it wherever you want. And you can see it's pretty. That is secure. It's not, it takes a lot of force to get it out. So you can see that it's pretty secure. So when you decide, for example, that, so what I have here, and I'm just taking out the flowers that I had from here. This is what's nice about this is you have these flowers. And again, I'm just going to take this out just because in your kit, you did not have toothpicks. But I also would like you to experiment with having some on picks because you could layer your flowers to different levels. And that's a useful thing to have when you're waiting. So if you're not using the toothpicks, all your flowers will pretty much be at the same level, the level of the glue dot on the wreath. So here it goes. Hope you can see that. So here's another one. So we can go all around the wreath, and then with the leaves, you'll just position them, underneath the petals so that you can have, and you can even go, now what you have is a round wreath form. You can even put them here, a little bit to the side. And the glue dots, oh, could you hold on a moment, please? Sorry. Yeah. All right. I'm back. Sorry about that. I have, where was I? I was just putting the wreaths together. So here at this point, you just really will have to decide where you want your elements to be. So it's useful to have maybe double-edged tape first to put a temporary design in, or with the leaves, actually, it's easy because I can take a toothpick and just stick it in here. So leaves are interesting because they do have this little hole in the bottom. I hope you can see that right there. So it's very easy just to put a toothpick in there. I guess I got the glue all the way down. Oh, you know what? This one has this toothpick I'm using has a glue dot on it. So the one that I took out. So here you go. I have a damaged leaf, right? But don't worry, because we are making all these elements will be seen in a large collection. People are not going to, nobody's going to look underneath your wreath to see, oh my God, that's torn. So I'm just going to get a clean toothpick, which I should have done. For this particular thing, half a toothpick is enough. So I'm just going to put it there in the bottom, and it comes out the other side. And this is enough for the leaf. So I'm just going to cut it right there. Now I'm wearing glasses, so I know this protects me. But you know what, as for a safety issue, when you cut a toothpick, just sink it in your wreath form and cut while you're holding the other end so nothing's flying about. There you go. Really safe, because if you just cut these things in the air, they could like jump all over the place, and we don't want that. So here it is. I have a little thing. I might as well put some glue on it. I will use a glue dot. But anyway, but we're talking temporary for now. So I've just put it there. I'm going to sink it in here, right? And then use a glue dot, for example. So just build your wreath with the flowers that you have. So for this purposes, I'm going to make a wreath with 4 flowers and then just put a ribbon around. So that's really fast, right? If you have more flowers and more leaves, you can really fill your wreath totally all around, as you've seen in the beginning of this video. So there, and then I think I like white, so I have, it's nice. It's really nice to have different kinds of flowers. This white flower is it's a little too tall, so I am going to cut the thing. Now this one, it's the point is secured, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna go cut like this, so that the sharp point isn't going to be flying around, because there's no sharp point on the other side. So I have that. I'm putting it here. So as you can see, you can have fun. Go do the design your way. So if I position my flowers like this, I can decide. It's just a matter of deciding where you want your leaves to go. Do you want a fuller wreath? Do you want a wreath that doesn't have, that's a little thinner? It's really up to you. So these are the big leaves. I will put like one big leaf here. So since I position my flowers and I pretty much know where I'm going to put my leaves, we can go take the glue dots right here. And the leaves are easy because the glue dots are really thick and sticky. You have that one. Just put it on there and peel it off. So I hope at this point you're already having, you know, a few more flowers, a few more leaves, and you can really just have fun designing your own wreath. So I'm just finding some space down there, and I'm putting it in, and you can be brave. Just hold your leaf right there and press all the way down. There you go. I know it's nicely stuck, and then you can sort of pull it up so that there you go. So that's one. It's a nice. Now this one you can see, because it's stuck with a toothpick, it's flopping around. I can use I'm going to put the thing down, and I can use a glue stick to make it stick. So ultimately the leaves, because they're low, they don't really need the pick. I just kind of like doing it that way to give me the flexibility of using it if I want. But the glue dot is perfectly fine for using leaves. Elissa,
Yes.
do you have any questions at this point?
Yes, actually, I was hoping you could show us how, at the end of Monday, you talked briefly about how to fold the flower tops, you know, how to make them round or fold them
Ah,
behind.
sure.
Can you
All right.
just show us that quickly?
Sure. We're, so basically leaf wise, we're done, right? It's just, and this part, pretty much it's really all up to you how you assemble your wreath. You design where you put the leaves, you design where you put the flowers, you decide how you want to put them on, whether it's just using glue dots, using picks, or using a glue gun. For example, if you're comfortable with a glue gun, by all means. So basically here we have our basic wreath. I'm just finishing up. I like using different, for myself, I like using different colors of leaves. So it's nice to have different colors here and there. They lend a little bit more depth. And some of the leaves can go over some of the petals, right, of the flowers. It just gives it more natural effect. And then you have smaller leaves like this. So I have so this one, for example, yeah, this is a little too bright. It's a little too fake to look, but if you like the look of it, I'm just going to show on this video how, oops, sorry, how it could look. So here we have this leaf. It's just bright neon leaf, and then there's that. So you can see having different colored leaves does something for a wreath also, if you want. Otherwise, you can use all the same colors. If you want a monochromatic kind of look, just one color of flowers, just one color of leaves, that's perfectly fine too. All right. So let me put this aside and on to Alyssa's question. I will use some of these flowers. Now, the basic flower that we did would have looked like this. Because this, again, but I want to show you different variations. Oh, look how strong this glue dot is. This is stuck on with a glue dot, and I have to pull so hard.
Those glue dots do not mess around.
I know the pick will come right off, but the glue dot, I'm like, oh my God, it's not. See here, here's another glue dot one. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I just wanted to show you when we had our, do I still have a basic form? Hold on, let me just come right back. So this was the basic unit of the flower we did, right? And when we assembled it, we gave the petal shape. We gave it a shape like this to open up the petals. So this is the basic flower unit. And if you review the video from the other day, we showed how to put it together into a flower like that. So one of the things that you could really do, now if you notice, so if you just use this one, you will get this pointy one, right? Now this one is the same. This is a pointy, there's the point. Look, see, I just folded it underneath. So if you take your pointy flower and fold the tips underneath, you're gonna get this, a nice rounded shape. That's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up, Alyssa, because I did say I would talk about it. Now this one, if you notice, it's rounded and it's kind of cupped. Actually, it's a deeper cup than this one, and it's also smaller. I don't know, I don't remember if I made this out of smaller paper, but let me unfold this so you could see. This is how I made that. So I made it out of 6-inch paper. The beauty of origami is you can unfold it and figure out how it was done. So this one, this kind of effect, right? I'm gonna do it here. I took this thing and folded it back like this. So I shrank the leaf, it's the petal itself. I folded it back there. You see that crease? I folded it another way. So now I have a smaller point with this thing in the back. And then what did I do? So there it is. You can see that. I just pulled it down some more. When I pull it down, it gives me this nice round shape. See that? It's rounding itself. And I did that. But I'm folding this back up, and I sort of let this little point show. So it's not really, it's a smaller petal than this. Even if it's the same size paper we use, it's a smaller petal. So this is a quick and easy way to get different sizes of flowers. You could just use all 6-inch pieces of paper, because sometimes it is harder to fold smaller pieces of paper. It can be done, but you just have to get used to the kind of focus and dexterity it takes to fold smaller pieces, and the patience too. But you could change the actual size of your petal right there. So here I am, I did that. And then I think what's happening with this flower, I've already forgotten how I did it. But there's the thing. Oh, there you go. I folded one edge over the other. Let me take this out so you can see. And then I folded it back. And then over time, this just loosened, and I kind of like the look of it. It didn't go down all that well. So if I open it up a little bit here, you get that sort of little curve outwards, right? So it's not a flat curve that's you cannot see. It's a softer kind of curve that you can see. So it's like the shape of the petal was opening up downwards like a lily. So that's how. So I'll do it again here, just so you can see it. I'm going to fold it back one. I fold it back another way. And then, okay, so this one is, I'm checking the back. This is over there like that. Then I'm just going to fold it back. It gets pretty thick at this point. It's a really, so it's almost like working with clay. And in a sense, when you're working with thick parts of paper, you do get that there. You get that. So that's a different petal shape right there. Another one is it. So pretty much petal shapes, it's really you. That's really you designing it. I've folded a lot, so I just be brave, just experiment. Strict origami rules say no scissors, but it's your wreath. You are the designer. If you want to cut something in half, you cut a little wedge here and fold it out. It's up to you. In fact, I will do that for one of these flowers later. So this one, if you look at it, it has actually some sort of, it gives you a little heart shape here. See that? And the way I did that, I don't even remember. Look. So there's the fold. It's basically, I think I did this, and then I folded it down here first. I held the petal like that, and then I folded this part in. So it's not exactly it's not really folded flat like that. It was folded while the petal was compressed, a little thinly like that. So that way it's not a flat fold, and the petal is not as wide as this one, or not as wide as this one. It becomes a little narrower. So there. And then I just let it, and then I put it up, and then sort of made the, the glue stick sticking to my fingers, made this stick like that. So a lot of these are little micro sculpture movements. It's almost like you're working with clay. So let your imagination run wild. So there it is. There's that little pleat again. So this one, I hold the, so there's the typical petal, right? That's the regular petal we get. I hold it in half. I take this bottom in, and then I sort of guide it in like that. So I fold it like this already. I don't fold it flat to the petal. I fold it standing up. And it's not really a fold, as you can see. It's really more just sculpting it standing up. Glue stick. So here, narrow the petal, bring this part in, and then I pinch it here so that it shapes the paper. So that's just, you know, a little bit of example. Another way is this one. Oh my God, this has stuck. It's glue sticks, glue dots. This one was made from a 4x4 sheet of paper. So we do have a smaller piece of paper making this one, because this is the regular size you get from a 6x6. And this is the size you get from a 4x4. But I've also folded it in. That's why. For the regular 4x4 paper, this is the length of the petal that you're going to get. See the difference? There is a difference there. But this one also has more than three of these, right? Because when we did our flower, the basic form was 3 of these shapes, three units, right? I'm just going to unfold this again. So this flower comes from 3 of these. This one actually has 2, 4, 6, 8. It means it comes from 4 of these. So you could also, excuse me, let me grab one. I'm making one that has 4. So if you make a flower with 4 units, now this hasn't been put together yet. This is the kind of density you're going to get. It's a denser flower than this one made with 3 units. So again, you have a choice as to how many units to use. So I use 4, I use 3. I mean, I use 3 because that's just the standard thing that I learned. But I've done things with 4. This has been done with 2. Oops, the jewel got off. So with 2, you can see that you could do 2 units as well. So the choice is really up to you. And this one is definitely a different shape from this one. Size of the paper matters. So I could do a small flower with just 2. So when we put a wreath together, we have a wide variety of flowers, which is really going to be nice to look at, I think. So again, what are the other? So here's another one. I've forgotten how I do this. Maybe, Alyssa, I'm just going to unfold this another time and figured it out and give you a video of how I folded this one. I kind of really like it. It looks really interesting. But as you can see, this you have great flexibility in coming up with different forms of flowers with just this one basic with the one basic form. So I hope that's pretty clear. Is that good?
Yes, I think so. It's amazing how many flowers you can get from just that one. You're right.
Yeah. Real quick, let me just jump in and talk about this one. Now, oh, look, it was a double-edged tape. It came right off. Now, origami paper that has white on the other side. See how this one has white stripes in the middle? That happens when, let me just, all right, I don't have a prettier color. I'm gonna use my gray ones. Or actually here, I'm going to, so here it is, it's a gray. I'm going to make a nice gray flower, which is actually pretty. The gray is a nice color to work with. So I can real quick, because we have a few minutes and it's a great question. So I'm making the flower petal right here. If I want, so see here, you do not see the white peeking through, but this one, I guess I have to put the glue. This needs a glue dot. There you go. These are just those jewels that have the little glue in the back. So this one, you can see the white shows through. In fact, let me unfold it. That's what you get. So all that is I will not make it a tight fold here. Originally, most flowers do this. You do not want white showing and you want to cover this part completely. But this one, I decided I'm going to expose it. I'm just not going to make a tight. So my flower will have a little bit of that initial fold showing and a little bit of white showing. There you go. So this is the kind of shape you're gonna see. Then when I fold it, I will also leave a white. So basically you're folding your unit so that there is a white bar in the middle of it, right? And then I fold it. And when I fold it in half, here's my stapler. I have it was great. I've learned how to use a stapler instead of that long-winded glue thing. So now that's my preference. I will staple this part. And so if you look at the petal now, there you go. You've got your gray, you've got your white spot showing. So that's another way to use paper, because some origami papers will have one color on one side and then another color, not necessarily white. You will have origami paper that's, say, gray on one side but pink on the other. So if you get double, and that's called double-sided origami paper. So if you get origami paper that's like that, you will have a lot of flexibility in what you want to do. So this is how this flower happened. And as you've seen, I just simply folded the tip to the back and rounded it so you can see more of the, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this was also made with 3. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Great. How about in how to put the wreath together? The wreath assembly is pretty straightforward. If you enjoy arts and crafts, we don't even have to talk about it. You do what you want. Right? I mean, I think I'm going to buy for myself those nice, I don't know if they're hat pins or the pins with pearls
Yep.
at the end. And I think that's what I'm going to do instead of this. I mean, it's just my personal preference. So I will just make the flower with the glue dots. Let me show an example of like this one, right? And then I'm just going to get one of those pins with the pearls, and you can see there are all these spaces you could put them in.
Right.
So it really makes life simpler, because, or this one, I guess this is your standard jewel with adhesive at the back, but my experience with this is that's not enough adhesive. So either use a glue gun or glue dot, I guess, but the glue dots are too big. And I did hear that there are such things as mini glue dots. So if you get yourself mini glue dots, that will probably be the right size for this. So there you go. We have, I discombobulated my wreath, but I will send you a picture of the completed one so that everybody can see how it
Okay,
looks. But I hope that, this is going to be fun for everyone. And
me too. And I hope you will all send me a picture of
yeah,
your completed wreaths and I will share them with Joy.
yes. And
I
on
hope you've had a good
on your
time.
website, that would be great.
Yeah.
I would like that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah. And thanks, everyone. And have a good day and have a good time with origami.
You too. Thanks, Joy.
Bye, Alyssa. Thanks.